We talk about bullying as an emotional problem, a social problem, a school problem, and it is all of those things. But there's a dimension to it that almost never makes it into any conversation: what bullying does to the body. Not metaphorically, literally, physiologically, because it turns out that when a child is repeatedly targeted, humiliated, threatened, or hurt, their body responds as if it is under constant physical attack, and over time, the response starts to leave marks, not always visible ones, but measurable ones. Today, we're going to be talking about the science that actually says bullying has physical health problems, and why this matters far more than most people realize. Let's start with the basics. When you experience a threat, whether it's a predator, a car swerving toward you, or a group of kids waiting for you around the corner, your body activates what is known as a fight or flight response. Adrenaline spikes. Cortisol floods your system. Your heart rate climbs. Your muscles tense. Your digestion slows. Everything non-essential shuts down so your body can focus on surviving the immediate threat. The system is brilliant. It evolved to keep us alive, and for short-term threats, it works exactly as designed. The problem is what happens when the threat doesn't go away. For a child who is bullied repeatedly, every day at school, every week, month after month, the fight or flight system doesn't get to switch off. It keeps firing, and the body pays the price. There's a term for this: allostatic load. As UPI News Current reports, research suggests any form of continued physical or mental stress can put a strain on the body, leading to increasing wear and tear in a process known as allostatic load. Allostatic load is the cumulative impact of biological responses to ongoing repeated stress, such as the fight or flight response. It can lead to changes in inflammatory, hormonal, and metabolic responses. These changes can lead to the development of diseases such as depression, diabetes, and heart disease. Read that again slowly: depression, diabetes, and heart disease. Now, these aren't the words that we typically reach for when we talk about bullying. We talk about hurt feelings, damaged confidence, kids not wanting to go to school, and those feelings are real and serious, but research is telling them that the harm goes deeper, down into the biology of a child's body. Allostatic load is essentially the body's wear and tear bill from running on high alert for too long. Every time a bullied child braces for another day of torment, their hormonal and inflammatory systems shift. And when those shifts happen repeatedly, chronically, they stop becoming temporary responses. They start to form into the new normal, the damaged normal. But it gets more specific than that. Researchers haven't just theorized about this, they found a way to measure it. The Telegraph reported on a striking discovery. Scientists have found that bullied youngsters have a biomarker in their blood, which in high levels raises the risk of heart disease and metabolic syndrome. The biomarker, called C-reactive protein, otherwise known as CRP, was found to increase within each incident of bullying. It more than doubled between one incident and 3. C-reactive protein, CRP, is a protein that your liver produces in response to inflammation. It's one of the markers doctors look at when assessing cardiovascular risk in adults. And researchers found that it shows up elevated in the blood of children who are being bullied. Not only that, the more incidents of bullying, the higher the CRP. It more than doubled 1 incident and 3. That's a dose-response relationship. The body is keeping score. This is important because it moves bullying from the category of bad social experience into something more measurable, like health exposure. The way we think about secondhand smoke, or lead in drinking water, or lack of sleep. Things that accumulate quietly in the body and show up as a disease years later. That's how we may need to start thinking about chronic bullying. And the effects don't necessarily disappear when the bullying stops. Research into childhood adversity, what's sometimes called adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, consistently show that stress experienced early in life can reshape the body's stress response systems in ways that persist into adulthood. Elevated inflammation, heightened cortisol reactivity, increased risk of cardiovascular disease, autoimmune conditions, and mental illness. The child who survived daily torment in middle school may be carrying that experiences into their blood pressure, their immune system, their gut health, long after they moved on, graduated, and built a life. This is not a reason for despair, but it is a reason to take bullying far more seriously than we do. So why does it matter how we frame this? Because when bullying is treated purely as a social or emotional issue, the response tends to be social and emotional. Teach empathy, hold assemblies, make posters. And while that work has its place, it sometimes treats bullying the way we once treated smoking, as a lifestyle choice with personal consequences, rather than a public health problem with measurable physical harm. The science is pushing us towards a different framing, one that recognizes a child being chronically bullied is a child under chronic physiological assault. Their body is in a state of ongoing emergency, and that has consequences we can measure in their blood, predict their future health outcomes, and, if we take it seriously enough, potentially prevent. We owe it to kids to talk more honestly about this, not to catastrophize, and not to take away agency from young people navigating hard social situations. But to be clear, bullying is not just unkind, it's not just unfair, it's not just something kids should toughen up through. It is a stressor that changes the body, that elevates inflammatory markers, that contributes to the kind of physiological wear and tear associated with heart disease, diabetes, and depression. And the more it happens, the worse those effects become. The next time someone will say, kids will be kids, remember the C-reactive protein. Maybe remember the allostatic load. Maybe remember that somewhere in a bullied child's body, a quiet, measurable toll is being taken. That toll deserves to be taken seriously.